Hello folks and welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be taking a look at some items I picked up at the train show in Plano. It was a pretty good 4-hour drive, but we had a really nice time. But first, here on the workbench, I'm slowly working on this lease unit, PRLX 2832. Ditch lights from Wallace Locomotive Works have been installed on the pilot with LEDs. The interior of the cab was painted a beige color, and the headlight and numberboard lights are in the process of being installed too. I had to replace some destroyed grab irons on the back, easy enough. Those will get painted eventually. I'm excited to see this one come together, expect a full video breakdown once it is complete. Now onto the fun part. The first item is this Walthers Mainline SD75i for Canadian National. I picked this up brand new, in box, for a flat $100. I've been wanting a Canadian National SD75 for a little while. One came through the Austin sub, I think last year. It was really faded and it was just kind of a cool thing to see down here. Now I've already purchased the Walthers detailing pack, which will have all the grab irons to install for the cab and everything. It'll eventually get a Canadian National style PTC according to prototype photos of 5682 eventually as well. Now I took this out of the box to see what's going on inside. This will eventually get a sound decoder, but I wasn't sure if it had a speaker installed, hence why the shell is off. I do love this style of assembly, just a few screws, no wires between the shell and chassis, it's very clean. We have a motherboard with a 21-pin socket, pretty standard stuff. And you can't really see a speaker anywhere. But I did undo these two screws here, and there is a large round factory fitted speaker inside on the other side of the drive shaft. Normally I would replace this with a Scale Sound Systems speaker, but he doesn't currently offer a speaker for this model, so I might just keep the stock configuration for now. But for those wondering, the Silent DC version does come pre-fitted with a speaker, so that is really nice. As far as I can tell, they do not advertise this anywhere from what I was seeing. Nothing in the product description or on Walthers' website or even in the manual mentions that it comes fitted with a speaker. Overall, it's a pretty nice model. It's going to detail up really nice. I'm going to hold on to this one for a while and just kind of set it aside for a future project. Next up is a Walthers DJJX gondola. The price on this was great. It's only about 20 bucks, but I'm not sure I'm going to keep it, and I might sell it. I kind of just had an idea in my head when I picked it up, and the price was right, but yeah, I don't know if I'm going to keep it. Next up is this bulkhead flat. I was on the lookout for an exact rail or maybe a Rapido bulkhead flat, but the guy offered me 10 bucks for this one, and I really couldn't say no to that price. It might make for a good weathering project. I might strip the Trailer Train logo off of it and add the small red TTX logo to it instead, bring it up to the present day aesthetics. This last piece is a UP boxcar. I know these are not totally accurate to the real thing, but it'll be graffiti fodder and weathering practice. And these Walther pieces, except for the bulkhead, were all, they were 20 bucks a piece, and for brand new, I thought that was pretty cool. Didn't have to pay tax or shipping or anything, just flat 20 bucks. There was one seller at the show, Southeast Hobbies, that had a lot of nice items, including good selection of DCC decoders and supplies, but they also had pre-packaged Scale Sound System speakers, which I've never seen before. And I need one for UP1111, and was going to order the ST70 Ace version anyway, and he had it, and this saves me the trouble of having to order it. So I'm super excited about that. Here you can see the chassis for 1111 stripped and ready for its new DCC board, which I haven't purchased yet, but we'll get to that in the coming weeks, and the speaker will go along right with it. I was keeping an eye out for autoracks, but there just weren't that many sellers that had them, I found. But Harris Hobbies had one buried in a tote for $55, and it's an Atlas autorack, just TTX, no railroad branding anywhere. This is my first autorack from Atlas, and the detail is super nice. I'm not entirely sure what graffiti this will get. I've just been thinking about how I want to approach my graffiti, and when it comes to the nice modern stuff like Aurora miniatures and scale trains and something like this, I'm more inclined to do real graffiti based off of photos that I've taken or, real life imagery. But with the more Fubi-ish stuff, like the Walthers stuff, that look great but more like stand-ins, I'm more inclined to do something like an anime piece or something, fun of my own work. I think this one will get artwork based on something I've seen in real life. It's a really nice piece. Over at Spring Creek Model Trains, I grabbed this Lokesound 5 21-pin decoder. This may or may not go into the SD75i. It may not go into the tunnel motor here on the bench. It may go into one of the half other dozen locomotives that need decoders. My problem is the locomotives multiply faster than the decoders do, and it's a real struggle. Also from the good folks at Spring Creek, this Atlas center beam flat car. I was watching Dan's video on detailing and weathering center beams, and I see enough of them come through Austin. I wanted to get a hold of one to start. I'll probably pick up a few more later this year. Check out Dan's Railroad 2011. Check out his video. It's good stuff. And lastly, at the Spring Creek checkout counter, they had these, the Walthers Titans of Steel trading cards. Now, one of my other hobbies is actually card collecting, and I have a decent collection of Star Wars and some other random stuff. You know, all manner of random cards, and I think cards are a lot of fun to collect. So I decided to try my hand at these, and I wish they weren't $8 a pack, but let's crack open to them right now. Okay, first up we have a Charles Davenport. You got some information on the back. All right. We have a GE-8. Pretty cool. The Via Rail Canadian. Awesome. A 50-foot mechanical reefer. Cool. Kansas City Union Station. I've been here. My wife and I actually had lunch here when we were visiting the World War I Memorials Museum, which is, I think, right behind you. And if you're standing and looking at the station from this photo's angle, that's pretty cool. George Westinghouse, the inventor, of course. Leviathan. I'm pretty sure this 440 appears in, I think, The Great Locomotive Chase from Disney, the 1950s film. One of my all-time favorites. I think in that film it's the Texas, but I don't really remember exactly. The Milwaukee Road Cannonball. Speaking of center beam flat cars, there's one. Pretty neat. And then guess this is one of Walther's proto models. Okay. And it's probably like a puzzle back or something, and you get a bunch of these and you can build a big image of a poster or something on the back. That's usually what those are. But let's go ahead and crack open pack number 2. Okay, Charles Davenport again. A GE-8 again. Oh, okay. Alright, so we have a different station. It is the Milwaukee Road Everett Street Station, and a different Walther's proto card. Okay, that is weird. The fact that that pack was almost identical to the first pack. I don't think cards are supposed to be like that. I think I'm gonna die if the third pack is exactly the same as the first two. Let's hope not. Or I need to buy a lottery ticket or something. Okay, we have that station. Okay, different station. Windsor Station, Montreal. Very cool. Alright. Stevens Pass. Westinghouse again. Ooh, we have a shiny parallel of a coil car. Interesting. Got another Kansas City Union Station. We got a coal terminal. Very cool to have that in my collection now. We got a trestle. That's pretty cool shot. The daylight running across. William B. Strong. And another, I guess, proto card. Okay. Now to the good folks at Walthers, when you're making trading cards like this, you really don't want to have 2 consecutive packs open to have almost all of the same cards. That kind of sucks, and I don't think I've ever seen that before. But I'm really glad I got it on video. I was really hoping for like a cracked ice parallel of a tier 4 ace or an on-card auto from Casey Jones. No such luck this time. Would I get these again? Yeah, maybe, I think so. Because I like silly, interesting things, and trade cards are just that. If I get more packs that are almost identical in content, though, I'm gonna have to reach out to Walthers and complain, because that's ridiculous. Overall, the train show was a lot of fun. We saw a lot of cool things. Maybe a few too many sellers trying to hawk Athearn Genesis diesels at full MSRP, but there were deals to be had, and I think I got a few good ones. But that'll do it for now. I'm gonna get back to work on this lease unit here. I'll see you in the next one.